Should you buy a house in 2022? Should you sell? Or should you just sit and wait it out? Well, the answer to all these questions is, it depends. Mike here, and in this episode, I'm going to present a number of key metrics and what I believe they mean for 2022. Editing Mike here. I'm trying a new format and it's a work in progress. You can win a $10 gift card if you are the first person to comment below with the correct number of times that I say, as you can see in the video. I recommend you not make it a drinking game unless you really want to visit to the ER. Also, there's a bonus tip at the end of the video if you're on the market to purchase in 2022. And before we dive in, make sure you do all the YouTube things. Timestamps are included below. Let's go. So the answer for you individually depends on two things: your specific situation and the location that you're looking into. Today I'm going to walk you through national US data just to understand that each market behaves differently. Comment down below what the areas you're interested in and I can include it in a future video. Now, most of the relevant data is broken down into 5 different categories. You have demographics, price, sales, supply, and that also includes supply chain, and then regulations. So the first category is demographics, and fortunately there are a number of free websites you can go to obtain demographic data. First, you have your real estate sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin.com, and so on. But you could also look at government sites such as the local Chamber of Commerce, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and Census.gov. As you can see, there are a number of factors that you could look into, but my favorite is actually the Affordability Index, which takes the average mortgage divided by the average wage in that area. This can provide a strong indication of your underlying fundamentals of your current market. I also like to use Google Trends to track web searches for keywords like real estate. Okay, so as you can see here on Google Trends, what I did is I did a search for real estate as a topic and looked at the past 12 months. And as you can see, from the beginning of this period till about October 2nd of last year, the score was really high, hitting between 98 and 94%. But then after October 2nd, what you see is a decline in the number of people searching for this search term. What does this mean? It means that there were less people actually looking for real estate during this period. And as you can see, after Christmas, essentially, then the number of searches started going up, which kind of makes sense, right? During the holidays, you want to spend time with family. You're not really, a high priority isn't looking for a house. But then after that, particularly with the coming new year, that's when people start looking back into the market. Realtor.com has a very easy to use affordability distribution curve and score graphic that you can look up on your own, and I'll leave the link below. The regions highlighted in red or pink are regions where it's less affordable, and then the regions in blue or light blue show that these regions are more affordable. As you can see, as a whole, the United States affordability score right now is 0.80, which actually is pretty decent. As you can see, this line is fairly straight. However, if you look at a market, let's just say Colorado Springs in Colorado, the affordability score is much lower at 0.58. And as you can see, there's like this little dip in the line instead of it being straight going up. If you look at the point here, the income percentile is 51, but the percent of inventory which is affordable is only 11%. That means you're going to have great competition on the lower market. This means you're going to have high competition for those lower price homes. What this also shows me is that there's going to be a significant portion of the population that's not going to be able to afford the majority of the homes that are on the market, so they may just pull out or wait. And when that happens, that's when you're going to see a slowdown in the price appreciation, and you might even experience some price declines of the real estate. So if you go to redfin.com to their data center, and I'll leave a link below, all you need to do is scroll down and so that you can actually download the raw data here by nationally, by metro, by state, county, city, zip code, and neighborhood. Now keep in mind, this is raw data that you'll have to create your own graphs from, as well as Zillow. Zillow has the same thing. If you go to Zillow's Zillow research section, and I'll also leave a link for you below. If you go down, you can click on whichever category you're interested in. And then once you do, it's going to look a little like this. As you can see, it's just raw data here. There's nothing fancy or attractive about it. It's just numbers, but this is the kind of stuff I love. But once you have this downloaded, you can actually start sorting based off of the region name or whatever type of data you're looking for. If you're looking by city, county, region, zip code, you can sort it by that and then create your own graphs from there. And we'll do that. I'll give you an example of one that I've done. Okay, so this is a quick table I put together based on the information we downloaded. And as you can see, this is the median sale price comparing Colorado Springs, Colorado in blue to Austin, Texas in orange. And if you look back to the crash, you could actually see where the numbers started going down. And then after that, the numbers started steadily declining over time. And as you can see, that the numbers started going up steadily over time until about, say, September of 2020. Then the numbers started shooting up. So this is a very hot market in both Colorado Springs and Austin, Texas right now. The next category is sales, and what I like to focus on is the median days on market and market competitiveness. So if we go back to redfin.com, their data center, and you scroll down, you can look into the weekly housing market data they have here, and then you scroll over to median days on market. You click on the type you want, a metro, and we're looking at Denver, Colorado, since they don't have Colorado Springs. Some of the smaller markets, they won't have such detailed data on. So the nearest major center would be Denver, Colorado. And as you can see here, there's three different colors. Well, there should be three different colors. You have 2020, 2021, but we do not have 2022 data yet, even though it's selected, because they haven't updated their database quite yet, since we're right in the middle of January still. What I like about this is that it shows you both the median days on the market and then the year-to-year changes, right? So as you can see from the beginning of 2020, once the lockdown happened because of COVID, the median days on market just took a nosedive. And then ever since, it rebounded a little bit in the beginning of the summer of 2020. But then since then, it's been fairly stable all the way up until now. And what that means is that this is a strong market right now with not a lot of volatility. And same goes for when you look at the year-over-year data. Ever since about May, April of last year, it's been fairly steady year over year. What this data tells me is that for the Denver, Colorado metro area, things are fairly stable, the market is anyways, and it may be for a little while longer still. Now let's look at market competitiveness by metro. So you have the metro rankings here. You can see here that Olympia, Washington leads the entire country as the most competitive market. And it's color-coded down below, which is kind of nice. You can just scroll to your area here. Colorado Springs, Colorado has a rating of 82, so that's fairly competitive. But you can look at any region you want that they have data for. Long Beach, bigger numbers, it correlates to the number of houses. But you can go through here and you can compete to score two different cities. You can pick your cities here and just play around with the tool. I think you'll really enjoy it. So the next category is supply, and this is broken down a number of ways. But the ones that I like to focus on are inventory, new listings, and what goes off the market within 2 weeks. For this category, both Redfin and Zillow do a really good job at giving you data. So going back to Redfin, under their printable market data, you can see the total number of homes for sale. It shows the total inventory each month, broken down by month. And as you can see, the general trend is it's going down, which means the market gets more competitive with less supply with the same number of demand, assuming that the demand stays the same. Likewise, the number of new listings, as you can see, it's a bit cyclical, isn't it? You get into the winter months and the numbers go down, then you go to the summer months and they go up. But as you can see, over time, the lows are actually increasing. So they're actually increasing the number of new listings overall. And now let's look at the off market in 2 weeks. Scrolling down from the Redfin's data center, I already plugged in Denver again, looked up 2020 through 2022. Again, 2022 data isn't here yet. You just have a dot really here. It shows the beginning of 2022. And red again is 2020, orange is 2021. As you can see, in both years, in the beginning, there is a ramp up of the number of off market in 2 weeks, right? And then it starts declining toward spring, and then it pretty much levels off, right, for the rest of the year. So that also gives me an indication that the market's pretty stable. The last category is regulations and monetary policy. This is where inflation, mortgage rates, state and local regulations, as well as even HOA rules all fall under this umbrella. Today we're going to focus on inflation and mortgage rates. So if you look at On Trading Economics website, they have a United States inflation rate, and you can see over the past, the previous 3-4 years, it was fairly stable. It dipped toward the beginning of 2020, and then ever since has been steadily increasing to about 7% today. Now what that means is it's going to make your interest rate on your mortgage go higher, and that's already starting to be baked in to today's rates. If you notice, the rates have already gone up. Going to Mortgage News Daily, you can actually see the history for the 30-year fixed rate mortgages shown here. Again, going back, this is just a year, but you can see the rates started going up in the beginning of the year, started going down toward the middle of the year, and then ever since about August, the rates have steadily increased until more recently they've kind of shot up. And that's most likely due to the Fed indicating that they will be raising interest rates in 2022. Now, if you're a home buyer who wants to buy in 2022, there is a little bit of good news here. Yes, in the short term, if you have high interest rate combined with a high purchase price, you're going to end up with a really high payment. But this period will also lead to a cool down in the housing market, and prices in many regions will be going down drastically. So if they go down enough to compensate for that rise in interest, you can actually be paying overall less toward the end of the year. Okay, so what do I mean? Well, let's just take a scenario where the home purchase price is $500,000 now, and the interest rate's 3%. So you're going to put 20% down, which is $100,000 here, which leaves $400,000 left to be financed over a 30-year term. So your monthly payment now would be $1,686 a month. Okay, so what if you wait and interest rates rises, but your home price declines? So toward the end of 2022, the market softens and prices go down. If you have a purchase price of $460,000, even though your interest rate went up a full 2 points to 5%, you're still putting 20% down, but in this case it's $92,000 for a savings of $8,000, and you're only financing $368,000 over that 30-year term. In which case your new monthly payment would be $1,552 for $135 savings each month. So in this case, it would be better to wait in this scenario. But as you can see, you don't quite have to be worried about higher interest rates pricing you out of the market. Maybe in the short term, but if you can afford to wait a little while, it could actually benefit you in the long run. Also keep in mind you can refinance later when rates do go down. So you'll have a lower home price and a lower interest rate. The last thing I want to say is that if you are in the market to buy, Look for a lender and a real estate agent that 1, you like, 2, you trust, and 3, that's willing to share information with you. Okay, that's it for this episode. Comment down below with any tips or any questions you have. Check out my channel for more financial tips. Do all the YouTube things for more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.